Jayo Radha Kunja Vihari. Jayo Radha Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavama Girivardhari. Gopi Janavama Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Jayo Radha Kunja Vihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayana Namaskritya.
Sancheva Narottamam.
Narottamam.
Devam Saraswatim Vyasam. Tato Jayamudhirai. Nashra Prayesha Bhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji. Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Putranam cha bhavam putra.
Putranam cha bhavan putra.
Putranam cha bhavan putra.
Putranam cha bhavan putra.
Ekasya shatam shatam.
Ekasya shatam shatam.
Yevai pauranjano vamshaha. Yevai pauranjano vamshaha. Yevai pauranjano vamshaha. Paleshu sameditaha. Putranam cha bhavan putra. Ekaikasya shatam shatam. Evai pauranjano vamshaha. Chaleshu sameditaha.
Putranam chavana putra ekaikasya shatam shatam ekakasya shatam shatam yevai pauranjano vamshaha evem pauranjano vamshaha panchaleshu sameditaha Putranam chavayon putra ekakasya satam satam yevem pauranjano vamsaha panchaleshu samedita Putranam पुत्राणां च वनपुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतम् ये वै पौरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः पुत्राणां च वनपुत्राः एकैकस्य शतं शतम् ये वै पौरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः पुत्राणां च वनपुत्राः एकैकस्य शतं शतम् ये वै पौरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः.
Yes, online, anybody?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतं एर्वै पुरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतं अर्वेपर्यजनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्राः एकैकस्य शतं शतं एर्वै पुरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रणाम.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतं येर्वै पौरञ्जनो वंश पाञ्चालेषु समेधितः. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च मम पुत्रां एकैकस्य शतं शतं यार्वै पुरञ्जना वंशाः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतं एर्वै पौरञ्जनोष पञ्चालेषु समेधितः. Thank you.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतं यैर्वै पौरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः.
Anybody else?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. पुत्राणां च वनं पुत्रा एकैकस्य शतं शतः एर्वै पुरञ्जनो वंशः पञ्चालेषु समेधितः. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Putranam of the sons. Cha also. Abhavan were produced. Putraha sons. Eka ekasya of each one. Shatam 100. Shatam 100. Yea, by whom? Why? Certainly. Puranjanaha of King Puranjana. Vamshaha family. Panchaleshu in the land of Panchala. Sameditaha greatly increased. Of these many sons, each produced hundreds and hundreds of grandsons. In this way, the whole city of Panchala became overcrowded by the sons and grandsons of King Puranjana. Of these many sons, each produced hundreds and hundreds of grandsons.
Each produce hundreds of grandsons.
In this way,
In this way,
the whole city of Panchala
the whole city of Panchala
became overcrowded
became
by the sons
overcrowded
and grandsons
and grandsons
Puranjana.
of King Puranjana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. We must remember that Puranjana is a living entity and the city Panchala is the body. The body is the field of activity for the living entity as stated in Bhagavad Gita, Kshetra Kshetragna. There are two constituents. One is the living entity Kshetragna and the other is the body of the living entity Kshetra. Any living entity can know that he is covered by the body if he only contemplates the body a little bit. Just with a little contemplation, he can come to understand that the body is his possession. One can understand this by practical experience and by the authority of the Shastras. In Bhagavad Gita 2.13, it is said, Dehinosmin yata dehe. The proprietor of the body, the soul, is within the body. The body is taken as a Panchala Desha, or the field of activities wherein the living entity can enjoy the senses in their relationship to the five sense objects, namely Gandha, Rasa, Rupa, Sparsha, and Shabda. That is, sense objects made out of earth, water, fire, air, and sky. Within this material world, covered by the material body of subtle and gross matter, every living entity creates actions and reactions, which are herein known as allogically sons and grandsons. There are two kinds of actions and reactions, namely pious and impious. In this way, our material existence becomes coated by different actions and reactions. In this regard, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura states, Karma Kanda Gnana Kanda Kevala Vishera Banda Amruta Baliya Ebakaya Nana Yoni Sadha Fire Kadharya Bhakshana Kare Tara Janma Adaha Pate Yaya. Fruitive activities and mental speculation are simply cups of poison. Whoever drinks of them, thinking them to be nectar, must struggle very hard life after life in different types of bodies. Such a person eats all kinds of nonsense and becomes condemned by his activities of so-called sense enjoyment. Thus, the field of action and reaction by which one's descendants are increased begins with sex life. Puranjana increased his whole family by begetting sons who in turn begot grandsons. Thus, the living entity, being inclined towards sexual gratification, becomes involved in many hundreds and thousands of actions and reactions. In this way, he remains within the material world simply for the purpose of sense gratification and transmigrates from one body to another. His process of reproducing so many sons and grandsons results in so-called societies, nations, communities, and so on. All these communities, societies, dynasties, and nations simply expand from sex life. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Yan maitunadi gruhamedi sukham hitucham. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.9.45. A grihamedhi is one who wants to remain within this material existence. This means that he wants to remain within this body or society and enjoy friendship, love, and community. His only enjoyment is increasing the number of sex enjoyers. He enjoys sex and produces children who in turn marry and produce grandchildren. The grandchildren also marry and in their turn produce great grandchildren. In this way, the entire earth becomes overpopulated and then suddenly there are reactions provoked by material nature in the form of war, famine, pestilence, earthquakes, etc. Thus, the entire population is again extinguished simply to be recreated. This process is explained in Bhagavad Gita 8.19 as repeated creation and annihilation. Bhuta bhutva praliyate. Due to a lack of Krishna consciousness, all this creation and annihilation is going on under the name of human civilization. This cycle continues due to man's lack of knowledge of the soul and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Putranam cha bhavam putra
पुत्राणां च भवन् पुत्रा
ekaikasya shatam shatam
एकैकस्य
एकैकस्य
शतं
शतं
शतम्
शतं
yarvai puranjano vamshaha
यर्वे
यर्वे पुरञ्जनो
पुरञ्जनो
वंशा
वंशः
chale sameditaha.
पञ्चालेषु
पञ्चालेषु
Of these
समेधितः.
many sons, each produced hundreds and hundreds of grandsons. In this way, the whole city of Panchala became overcrowded by these sons and grandsons of the king Puranjana. So very simple. Puranjana produced sons and they produced grandson. Now somebody says, Vedas are faith. What is faith in this? Faith it is, but not blind faith. Anyway, Prabhupada takes very nicely the meaning in the purport. He says, I'll give you an example first. Once Srila Prabhupada visited one family in Bombay. Prabhupada has been in Bombay even before ISKCON started, before he went to America, he was in Bombay. So he knew so many well-wishers are there. So after Srila Prabhupada came, making a huge ISKCON movement from America, when he landed in Bombay, they purchased the land. And these people who were already known to Srila Prabhupada, inviting Prabhupada with his disciples to their house. And Prabhupada visited one house. So man said, this is my wife. To Prabhupada was there with some disciples being received. One Baba and they're bringing for respects. Prabhupada said, okay. Now this is my first child. It's okay. This is my second child. This is my third child. Now this is the wife of my first child, wife of my second child. These are their grandson. They continued for some time, introduced all big family. And then he went away. So Prabhupada said briefly to his disciple, he just told me this is my sex life. Look at the purport. Prabhupada says we are doing nothing but increasing the number of sex enjoyers. And we have to do exactly the reverse as the movement. What we are doing, increasing the number of people who can taste Krishna Bhakti. The living entity is happily situated in subordination to the Supreme Lord as participants in Krishna's enjoyment. That's a living entity's business, happily situated in that situation. But instead of that, what society is doing? Increasing number of sex enjoyers, correct? They produce of sex enjoyment and they increase. And in that process, people are not happy also. Yesterday we were in the college, we were seeing, itna log aa raha tha. Sabka chehra dekh raha tha, hospital, sab dukhi. So what they are doing? Actually, principally it is sex desire and some other expansions only of sex desire. There is one thing called gross sex enjoyment and one thing called subtle enjoyment. Subtle enjoyment, reading watching reels, watching movies, reading newspaper. These are all subtle because finally that enjoyment only is promoted by that. They don't know of any other enjoyment. And subtle also in the sense of domination, control. You listen to me, what you are thinking. So if the gross desire is there, subtle are always there. You cannot say water is there and vapor is not there. If water is there, then vapor is also there. So we are actually in this world for sex enjoyment. And this is the king of all the desires of enjoyment. When you can give it away, you can go back to the spiritual world. Prabhupada, every purport is quoting this shloka. Yanamaya tunadi grihamed sukam hitocham kandu yanena karayo. It's just like an itching sensation. Now, what is friendship? I scratch your back, you scratch my back. That is also sex desire. But kya hai, apna zindagi, whole life is going. Time is going. And in old age, it becomes, Prabhupada says, very, very difficult to make any spiritual advancement. In old age, because person is overcrowded by pain. Today I was reading Prabhupada said 50 years person should retire. Then he says maybe 1 or 2 years, you will read the purport very soon. Maybe 1 or 2 years we can extend. Then 55, he says, no, you should retire. That's, I think, the government age previously, 55. Then they made 60. Nowadays it is 65. But Vedic time was 50. The kings used to at 50, Hare Krishna, not deal with any managerial responsibilities. And they are just Jnana Yoga Avasthiti, he develops spiritual realizations. Because at the time of death, only realizations will help us. No? Only by realizations we can. And not only that, you also need realization at the time because body is breaking down. The person is in too much pain. Correct? Person is in so much pain. Also, look, we develop the pride also. बाल ऐसे सफ़ेद नहीं किए हैं, सुनो जो बोल रहा हूँ, हमको भी घमंड होता है. तो सफ़ेद बाल तो हो गए हैं लेकिन कुछ रियलाइजेशन भी तो होने का ना, है ना? अदरवाइज इट इज इनकॉम्पैटिबल टू योर नेचर, टू योर प्राइड. somebody doesn't listen, तो वही कोई सुन नहीं रहा मेरा, बाल सफ़ेद किए हैं ऐसे नहीं कर रहे हैं. अरे तो कुछ रियलाइजेशन तो होने का ना. Realizations are available at every moment. Every moment Krishna is ready to shower. But then you should maintain Sattva-guna, and then you should continue to read Srila Prabhupada's book, practice spiritual life. But as the age advances, it's become very difficult. The body and mind cannot take the anxiety. See, this world means full of anxiety. They say boat is safest in the coast. But that's not the way the boat is supposed to be. Boat is supposed to be in water. Now, moment you decide, yes, I want to do something in the metal world, be ready. Lot of anxiety. So you take a car and go out, and God forbid, accident may happen. Somebody may come from other direction, high speed. You can't. That's part of the world, full of anxiety. But then, when the body itself has started breaking down, how can it do anything now? Prabhupada says, do not try to imitate great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada or Narad Muni. That's not our business to imitate them. The first thing, they are totally liberated. Why we should not? Many devotees think like Prabhupada, I'll do. To the last moment, I'll also travel and preach. Are you Prabhupada? You're not Prabhupada. Correct? Are you beyond the pains of the body? You're not beyond the pains of the body. Correct? So you will not be able to progress an inch in Krishna consciousness when your bodily difficulties start. And they start off. Already it has started. I think most of the hearers here are above 50 and 55 plus. Anybody who is not 55 plus here? Anybody is there by chance?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm in my 40s.
Yes, Prabhuji.
2 or 3.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm 40.
Four.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Remaining out of 100. See, you are only 10%.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am 36.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm 34.
चलो देखो ना 10% ही बचा, 10% ही बचा, 90% तो है ना. ठीक है. So just a message that we have to become very, very sincere. ठीक है. Do not imitate Prabhupada. Please do not think of imitating Prabhupada. Prabhupada till the last date, even body is broken down, is giving purports of Bhagavatam. And we will not do that. We cannot do that. So we should see. And this is a very important purport. Read that in the first canto when Narad Muni is traveling. And Prabhupada says, please do not imitate liberated personality like Narad Muni. Sit down in a place and chant and practice your Krishna consciousness. Free from all managerial responsibilities, free from all the anxieties, because you cannot take it. Your body itself is producing enough anxiety. Our digestion is not good. Today I did not get sleep. है ना? कुछ ना कुछ रहता है. In fact, if you go to old people, this is a problem. बुड्ढों से लोग क्यों दूर भगते हैं? एक लिस्ट रेडी रहती है ना? है ना? और पहले तो युधिष्ठिर महाराज used to go to Bhishma and say, how is you? How was your health? And अभी भी एटिकेट है लेकिन कोई करना नहीं चाहता. ओल्ड एज होम में डाल के कुछ मुक्त हो जाते हैं. So, but generally what happens, old person you go, what will say? Thoda back pain has started. Every day one new problem starts. Every day one new thing starts. Now this is not functioning, now urine is not coming out, you have to pull with a syringe. New. Now in that stage, do you think you can at all progress in Krishna consciousness? Aren't you convinced? किधर जा रहे हो भाई? उधर के लिए छोड़ दिया, नहीं कर पाओगे कुछ भी. That itself will create enough anxiety for you. What devotional service you will offer? Forget the mind even by body. चल तो पा नहीं रहे, कुछ तो करने आरती लैम्प देंगे तो उठता नहीं है हाथ से, है ना? क्या करोगे? कुछ नहीं कर सकते. So therefore, whatever time is remaining now, chalo 36, it doesn't matter. Whatever time is remaining now, turnam yatet anumrittu yavat, quickly endeavor. Prabhupada used to joke, people very much like to celebrate their birthday. Prabhupada used to joke, actually it's a sad day, because you have one more year, you have come near the death. So what is there to celebrate? Suppose somebody says only 1 hour remaining for exam. It is celebration or anxiety? It's anxiety. The more we are advancing in age, more the anxiety comes. I should not fail this time, the exam of birth and death. I should not fail. But that is for those people who are sincerely trying to pass. Not for everybody. So, first thing is that this is not a matter of faith. Prabhupada did not create ISKCON as some kind of a sect of faith. At least it is not a blind faith. Faith is there in everything. You are walking, you cannot walk without faith. Even in science, there are so many axioms. Recently, now President of America, they have got into the case that the vaccines are dangerous. This is also an act of faith. So many medicines anyway have been banned after they are produced. It's an act of faith. Everybody is living in faith. Faith. But it should not be blind faith, that's all. And where there is blind faith, here what we are reading? People produce sons and grandsons. It is faith, blind faith. Kya bhi tumko problem kya hai isme? But now it is signifying how we are entrapped in the material existence. And Prabhupada is immediately in that thing quotes about karma kanda, jnana kanda, kela vishera bhanda. So what generally happens is that a person is lost into thousands of desires and he has so many anxieties and difficulties in enjoying the desire. And when they cannot, they land up in the hospital. बड़े दुखी घूम रहे थे हॉस्पिटल के आगे. क्यों? थोड़ा इंटरप्शन आ गया सेंस एंजॉयमेंट में. हॉस्पिटल मीन्स सम इंटरप्शन है इसका. बहुत दुखी है, लेकिन छोड़ेंगे नहीं, यही है तरीका. They will not leave. So what generally people do, they will go to some astrologer. भाई बचा दो हमको, क्या है भाई, देखो भाई किधर है, क्या गड़बड़ है. He will say, no, this deity is unhappy at you, this deity is unhappy. In fact, in Mangaluru, they joke, it is very expensive to be Hindu because so many, Daiva Puja you have to do, Naga Dosha you have to do, so many. Yesterday I was meeting a personality. So he is very senior person, now retired. So I was sitting with him, I was saying, he was talking about that, in his hometown there is one temple of the Daiva. And they are telling the Daiva Gudi. Daiva Gudi is not properly maintained and then we have to do Kola. So I organized some friends, relatives together in that area, families connected. 18 lakh we had to spend, he was telling me, in renovating that Daiva Sthana plus expand Kola. At least 3 lakhs they take, 3 lakh kal rate pata chala. Wo they come and dance, no? Charge is not sasta, 3 lakh. He was telling everything, he said, and then he was telling, I told him, he's actually a Brahmin. I say, from the Shastra, if you satisfy Vishnu, you don't have to satisfy Devi, Devatas and even Daivas. There is no need. Directly, everything is satisfied. He actually knew that. He quoted a shloka also. Another shloka then we quote. Yeah, it is said in the Shastra. But what to do? I'm in society, they will not leave me. I have to do all this. So this is the situation. That's what people have to do. Or these are all karma kanda activities. There is nothing spiritual about these activities, the Devi, Devata and Daivas. What is spiritual about these activities? For some temporary material benefit, we go to them for some kind of reprieve. What is spiritual about it? There is nothing spiritual about it. But then people of society drags us to all these things. Beta settle ho gaya, you know. Now he also has a facility for sex enjoyment. Whole society has a facility. And then there is interruption. We run to hospitals and some people go to astrologers. Bhai, kya hai bhai? But there is no focus. There is no focus. I can enjoy spiritually. So Narad Muni, just imagine the challenging situation. Shishi Radha Govinda ki. What a challenging situation Narad Muni has. He's meeting a total karmakandi person like Prachina Parishad, very intelligently narrating to the life of Puranjana and showing the fallacy, showing the foolishness of the life of sense enjoyment. He's showing him and then inspiring him to spiritual life. And that is not an easy thing to do. Narad Muni could do for the hunter. Narad Muni is doing for a big emperor. And he's in Prachina Parishad, that's a fact. But he is encouraging him because he said he may be very proud. Emperor is just sometimes very proud, may not listen directly that what he is doing is karmakanda activities. Most of the people, whatever they do, so-called spiritual activities are not spiritual activities. They are actually some kind of karmakanda activities. And they do it blind faith. And if you rub deep, actually they have no faith in it. They just do it because either society forces them to do, or they do it because it will remove any interruption in their sense enjoyment. But no overall understanding why I am doing this activity. Just like Krishna talks to Narad, to his father, Nanda Maharaj, why you are doing this Indra Puja? What is the benefit? Is it from tradition or it has been, simply you are doing it for your own whimsical? He asked him various questions. And Nanda Maharaj in the beginning did not want to answer him, but Krishna said, wait a minute, father, I am your son, why you are keeping secret from your son? You have to reveal why you are doing this. When Nanda Maharaj explained this is a traditional activity we do satisfaction of Indra, then he gives a reason because he gives rain, blah blah blah. So Krishna counters rain, he gives rain. Rain is also throwing in ocean, he is an idiot. No, you say I am doing puja because he gives rain, but this idiot is throwing water even in ocean. I don't think you have to really worship him. And anyway, if you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you get bad. You should worship means do good activities. Why you have to worship some fellow called Indra? So Krishna totally confuses his father. So father says, beta, see, leave it aside. After some time we will do. Now let us continue with this. No, Papa, so much ingredients you have arranged. Will take a lot of time. Let us divert this for the worship of our land, Govardhan, and the cows. They are the one maintaining us. Let us worship them. And Nanda Maharaj agrees. And that's how the Indra gets upset and all the story. So, what I wanted to say is actually, mostly people are more absorbed in the karmakanda picture of the spiritual activities. Like in our place only, they are doing some puja, they invited us. It's all kames sattva hirta jnana yajanta enna devataha. The stolen material desires, people worship something other than pure devotion service. Unfortunate. They do not know. So just like what people are doing, people are busy. What the people are busy in increasing the number of sex enjoyments. That's all they are doing. है ना? और कोई philosophy नहीं है उनके पास. और कुछ story भी नहीं है. कितना मूवी होता है, फाइनली एक लड़के को सेक्स एंजॉयमेंट के लिए एक लड़की चाहिए. नहीं, लेकिन वो लड़की को वो दूसरा लड़का नहीं चाहिए जो पीछे है. And finally for sex enjoyment, both of them come together, removing all the obstacles and तालियां. अब they are both together for sex enjoyment. वही तो है ना, स्टोरी क्या है मूवी की, और बैठ के देखते रहते हैं लोग, मूर्ख लोग, है ना. At the end, what did they gain? So-called love. There is no love in the material world. Love means sex only. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. That is the love in this world. And you enjoy. So what is actually happening in the society is actually, and people are very happy. Oh, nicely they're going to enjoy sex now, they'll be very happy. So many problems are there after that they're not considering. Whole life, children grows up, why they will grow up. Now just put in that picture only. Maithuna agaraha, this world is a place for sex life, that's all. People are growing up, they are studying in school, college, why? I'll get a good job. What you'll do with good job? I'll get a lot of money. What will do with a lot of money? I'll get married to a beautiful wife. What will do with that? I'll enjoy sex. At the end, he's working for that pleasure only. ये क्या दुनिया है? Cinema hall जाओ, that is only that pleasure which is being shown. Correct? कोई दूसरा pleasure नहीं है उन लोगों के पास. Movie, magazine, TV, serial, reels nowadays. There's only one pleasure which is predominating in this world, the sex pleasure. And what is it? Khujli. We can tolerate that khujli, that's over. You have been saved. Imagine. Kevala Ananda Kana. You have been saved and only. क्या है पूरा भजन? केवल आनंद कांड. भजो भजो भाई चैतन्य निताय. Who knows this song? Kevala Ananda Kanda. Anyway, so
Parama Karuna Pai Dijana Nitai Gora Chandra. Sara Siromani Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Very nice. Thank you. Anybody can sing it? Any other person can sing it?
Parama Karuna Pahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra Sabhavata Tarashiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Kevala Ananda Kanda Kevala Ananda Kanda.
Thank you, Father. Okay. So Keval Ananda Kanda, this is so what is our business is that the world which is busy in this sex enjoyment, like the animals, जानवरों के उनके बीच कुछ फर्क नहीं है, बेसिकली जानवर ही हैं बस. उनको बताओ कुछ और है भाई, है ना, कुछ और. There is some other world which exists, है ना. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so mercifully making us access to this world. Generally people feel, लोग ऐसा सोचते हैं ब्रह्मचारी होंगे, फिर कुछ पढ़ाई करेंगे, पैसा कमाएंगे, फिर गृहस्थ में जाएंगे, वहाँ सेक्स एंजॉयमेंट करेंगे, लेकिन थक जाएंगे, उससे आनंद नहीं आएगा. फिर जाके वनप्रस्थ होगा, फिर जाके संन्यास होगा. एंड इफ यू टेल देम नहीं भाई हम लोग तो डायरेक्टली उसमें जा रहे हैं, तुम लोग पागल हो, फर्स्ट यू हैव टू गो टू गृहस्थ आश्रम, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड. दे डोंट एक्सेप्ट दिस. But it's also we should not make a joke. Prabhupada also said in the previous purport, everybody should get married. But you want to make an exception, you should deserve that exception. See, just like we had in Delhi now one sadhu, so-called sadhu has been, people, although so many 36 FIRs are put now, people are searching for him. And he was in dress of a sadhu. Now he has changed the dress and he has run away. You see, everything is there. Saffron dress is there. Sirma acha, that is the Shaivas, tilak is like this. Okay? And one big Rudraksha mala is there in his photo. And he was doing all kind of activities. And he has run away, hiding from being caught. So many people may question, bhai, sadhu bhi log aisa karte hain. Yeah, he was, we should not do like that. Bhai, agar you want to enjoy sex life, you want to enjoy spiritual life, दोनों का ड्रेस अलग होता है ना. Why do that? Actually, government should make a law, simple law. If the punishment is X for doing a crime, if it is done in this dress, it should be 10 times. That's it. Actually, previously that was the law. The king will severely punish. King may not punish a Shudra for drinking. He is left as also he has not made a commitment. वो दीक्षा लिया है, commitment दिया है, and after that is doing, you should be punished 10 times. तो कोई ये ड्रेस पहनेगा ही नहीं, बहुत मार पड़ता है ना. And actually it is true. Laws of karma will also punish more. Kevala Ananda Kanda, this was the... So, how do we see, how we can understand, say, drinking? Now for us it is that we don't even take tea, coffee. Where are you going to catch a sadhu in drinking? Possible nahi hai na? Correct? कैसे पकड़ोगे दारू? वो तो चाय कॉफी तक नहीं पीता. So his standard is much more than, see, public has no problem if we drink tea, coffee. Public को कोई problem है. कोई साधु चाय कॉफी पी, लोगों को problem नहीं है. But हमारा standard बहुत आगे है. हम चाय कॉफी तक छूते नहीं. Now people say meat eating. Now even people who are meat eaters, they don't have a problem with those who are, society. If they see sadhus eating onion, garlic, they have no problem. They have no problem. So, but our standard is much more. We don't take onion, garlic, eggs, omelette, but meat. We are keeping ourselves very pure. Then comes gambling, dyutam. Devotee lives a simple life, not getting involved in all this kind of activities. So where there is a question of gambling, he is much, much far ahead of all this. So similarly comes now illicit sex. Now we know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected Haridas Thakur. He just looked. क्या किया था? He just only looked or privately associated. I don't know which one to take, because reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita, his offense was actually very small. इतना ही ले लो, highest, he looked at her in a wrong way, है ना? उतने में ही उसको reject हो गया. So where there is a question of having sex for a sadhu, if he is honest, if he is honestly following, he is drinking, ISKCON मूवमेंट में क्या होता है? ड्रिंकिंग का बात तो चाय कॉफी में ही रिजेक्ट हो जाएगा आदमी, उसको दीक्षा नहीं मिलता. He says द्यूतम पानम द्यूत gambling, there is no gambling. Striyam shuna meat, he doesn't take any alcoholic. So sometimes we have to be very careful that the restriction has happened long way before. आप तो हमारा बाउंड्री को पहले क्रॉस कर. The boundary is that you should say, you should look at any woman as your mother. That is the boundary given in the Shastra. Easy to understand and easy to realize for anybody. Everybody looks at mother with so much affection. वहाँ से शुरू करो ना. ये तुम कहाँ पहुँच गया तुम? You cross many boundaries before breaking a regulated principle. है ना? Many boundaries are crossed. Just like somebody for death, somebody made an arrangement to Yamaraj कि death का बता देना है. He said, okay, I'll tell. So one day death came, he was about to die. He shouted at Yamaraj, तुमने तो बोला था ना मेरे को बताओगे. अब बताया ना, मैं नोटिस भेजता रहा ना, बाल सफ़ेद हो गए, एक नोटिस, है ना, हाथ पैर काम नहीं करने लगे. I sent you enough notice, you didn't see that. There are notice for death only, death आने वाली है. So you didn't take care. So similarly, for us also, those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, before you break a regulated principle, many notices are visible because of practice of Krishna consciousness. Many notices are visible. Many rules and regulations are stopping you. Many instructions and guidance are stopping you. But you, deliberate disobedience. You just went breaking one barrier. Just like for a society, आपको barrier बना दो. 1, 2, 3 होता है ना, some temples में 7 द्वार है. श्रीरंगम मंदिर में 7 द्वार है. 7 times it is covered. So then, one after another, you have broken first door, second door, third door, fourth door, fifth door, and then you come to the world of sense enjoyment. You are protected very strongly actually. You stay in association of devotees, chant Hare Krishna, continuously be engaged in devotion service, where there is a question of this. Okay, you got distracted, some thought came, bad thought, but that's okay, but people have no problem in that. The society is not expecting much from us. The standards given at Prabhupada are much higher than what the society is expecting. You tell Prabhupada has given this, it's not. Correct? So actually, if you are following, there is no question of getting trapped in this kind of thing. This is all, he has crossed many times, many checks are there already. Many checks are there. It will not even happen. But no. The person doesn't care. One by one is breaking, one more is breaking, one more is breaking, and finally becomes an embarrassment. So it's not that it is easy. He has been very nicely protected by the instructions of the Acharya. by various rules and regulations which we follow, is actually very nicely protected. But deliberately it disobeys and breaks. There is, suppose somebody does something accidentally, it's a separate issue. But here is a deliberate disobedience. And then how can you forgive somebody? Suppose somebody comes and makes a mistake. You pardon him when the mistake is done accidentally. That's like a Jamila. There was no deliberate disobedience. Prabhupada says, a situation like somebody puts a gun on the head, kya karega? Wo to phas gaya. But no deliberately disobedience nahi tha. So we do deliberate disobedience. Pura plan karke we break a regulated principle, and that become difficult to pardon. Ajamila was pardoned because he didn't plan like this, that I will do a life of sinful activities and at the end I will loudly chant Narayana. He didn't plan like that. Okay? So, but therefore, you see such an embarrassment. Now, common man doesn't know anything. What does he know? But why? He loses faith in spiritualism. All this sects are nothing but pakhandis. That is what is happening in the society today. More and more people in North India are, in fact, becoming angry. They see the dress of a sadhu. That's how the picture has been. So it is not a blind faith. So things are very reasonable. They're very rational. They're very logical. The person is trapped by thousands of desires in the name of his children and grandchildren. Now in this situation, how we can get liberated from this? If he has the fortune of association of a pure devotee, sadhu sangha, lavmatra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoye. But a genuine sadhu, even few moments, will liberate us. Why don't we become a genuine sadhu? How much we will become so effective in the society to spread Krishna consciousness? How much we will become effective? Otherwise, we are ourselves trapped by the sinful activity, then we are not effective. We have no realizations will be there. Other being effective and helping other people, your own spiritual life, what will be the condition? Having come keval ananda kanda, you will not taste ananda kanda. So the spiritual life is not a blind faith. Very reasonable, very logical, very rational. But society, it doesn't happen like that. Why? Because people cross the boundaries and break regulated principles, and people think whatever inside is all bogus. See, you want to preach Krishna consciousness, but if your life is an life of ideal character, then people become very interested what you are practicing. What is your philosophy? They become very respectful. And after they hear respectfully, everything makes sense to them. And they also follow. But we have one by one these sadhus or swamis like that. People just think whatever is said in the books is all bogus. See, people go by result now. What is the result the person has? How much damage he has done? How much damage that is done? People in the beginning do not know about spiritual life and how much damage is done. There is said when the hunter was very angry when he saw Narad Muni. When he looked at Narad Muni, saw a saintly face with no Rajoguna, Tapoguna on his face. Immediately he became respectful. And he said, "Can I give you something?" And because of that offering, his spiritual life started. Narad Muni said, "No, I don't want any charity." But why did he say that? Because just by the presence of Narad Muni, Dhira Adhira Janapriyo, he became very happy. So if we can maintain a life free from the sinful activities, we become actually attractive for the whole society. Because then we are actually happy. But then if we are pinched, dragged by the sinful activity, then you don't need to do prachara. Kanishta should not do prachara. He has to convince himself first. Because if you suppose you go to meet some people and you yourself are not determined to give up sinful activities, in that atmosphere you will be dragged. What is the use? You will come back home very disturbed. That's why there is a general rule for sannyasis, they should not cross Sasamundra. It's a rule. big matha, one sannyasi went Saat Samudra Par and he opened 15 temples, Vaishnava temples around the world. But other people don't allow him to touch the deity. He has been polluted. But what is the reason? Because those countries are bhogabhumis, where people are involved in sinful activities, and a person of a normal capacity, if he goes, he will get collapsed. But Prabhupada launched the whole movement by going Saat Samudra. He was there in that atmosphere, and he did not get disturbed. Rather, he changed them. So we should be convinced. It's not easy. We are there for some time, we will also start sinful activities. Because in India, what happens? Certain things are not allowed, not available. But in some countries, coming at home, 15-year-old boy comes home drunk and spend the night with girlfriends is not considered wrong. It's okay. That's a young age now. So in that situation where these things are permitted and your heart still has desire for these activities, what you'll preach if you're not realized? Therefore, Saat Samudra Par, you don't know. But you can go if you are actually having realization. These are all very, very basic realizations of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, that like sadhu in Delhi, you'll also become a debauchee and spoil the name of spiritualism. So seeing all this, people are becoming so faithless. They think all spiritual life is some kind of a faith, some kind of sex, and people have no interest that I can have any benefit from hearing spiritual life. That is the condition of society. Therefore, how much responsible it is. When you go to the society, people are not listening at your philosophy. Log aapka behavior dekh rahe first. They see the behavior. It's like you want to take admission in a college. First you don't take it, you see the size of the buildings. You see the so many buses. You are seeing externally first. Then you go inside and then you meet. So people also in the beginning are only seeing external. They see you, they look at you, and they see he's free from sex desire. Immediately they develop respect. They develop respect. Yes, I'm interested. Correct? Those who are seeking spiritual life become interested. And by your association, because you are able to liberate them from this desire, they become benefited. And gradually their path of spiritual life opens up, it expands. But people can pardon other things. See what happens? Suppose some Swami has swindled some money, or he is living a bit life of luxury, people can pardon him, ignore that. But they will not pardon a sadhu indulging in illicit sex. People will not pardon. Just like in this case, people are angry. People are angry actually. Because he's not supposed to do that. Correct? Okay, you came to know one sadhu is there, he has Rolls Royce. People will ignore that. But they will, वो लोग ignore कर देंगे. Sadhu है इसका Mercedes का ठीक है. They may still meet him. But if they come to know the sadhu is actually involved in illicit sex, people will spit on him. People will get very angry. And sometimes this common sense doesn't come to the head. No, I know some philosophy. What is the use of this philosophy? What is the use? People are losing faith in spiritual life because of your behavior. What is the use? What is the use? So therefore, a person should practice Krishna consciousness very intensely. Not just we're reading newspapers, at the time we are chanting, watching reels, at the time we are chanting, watching cricket match, time we are chanting. I saw that. I told you the Chennai incident. The whole family sitting and watching cricket match. And backside one fellow was holding his bead bag and chanting. I had an occasion to enter somebody's house and I saw this. What a joke it is. So this is what is going on actually in the society, in the name of spiritual life. We should sincerely do, very intensely do, practice Krishna consciousness and see that we become the Maithuna Agaraha, the chains and shackles in the material world. We are all shackled, but the shackles are not visible. In a jail, we say it is a jail, you can see shackled. There is a cage, you're locked, there is hand and legs are also chained sometimes. There are so many ways that somebody is chained, but it is visible. But in the material world, Krishna doesn't have to make a thing. In fact, the shackles are sex desire. And everybody is shackled by that, can't move. And it is so badly shackled that even if the doors of prisons are open, people do not go out. अब तुम गेट भी दरवाजा का खोल दोगे, like it happened in Nepal recently. They opened the gate, thousands of prisoners ran away from the jail, and they are searching. Government has collapsed, you know. So this all it happened in Bangladesh also. The jails are open. People become very happy. They run away. But material world ऐसा है कि जेल भी खोलोगे कोई नहीं जाएगा. You say this is a plane to Vaikuntha, कोई नहीं जाने वाला. हैं? आप बताएंगे मैंगलोर एयरपोर्ट में आया प्लेन वैकुंठा का, जाओ. अरे नहीं, बहुत आनंद है इस दुनिया में, अब क्यों जाने का है. वैकुंठ है नहीं है, पता नहीं, है ना, कहाँ जाएगा पता नहीं, गिर जाएगा शायद ये, है ना. कोई नहीं जाने वाला. We are very happy in the material world. Just understand little deeply how one is happy. It's only our own blood we are drinking in the name of various kinds of enjoyment. We are drinking our own blood, our own, just like Swavidvara Ustara Kharai. Ustara camel is like that. Camel is biting thorns, and when he is biting thorns, what is happening? The blood comes from the tongue, and his own blood, it takes it as enjoyment. That is exactly sex enjoyment. Nothing more than that. Our own blood we are taken, gone mad or what? But we are foolish. Life is going on, and we do not want to take steps to come out of this. We should understand the eternal soul is trapped in the material world and trapped in the illusion of so many varieties of material enjoyment. How this soul can be liberated from this embarrassing situation. This is all the life is all about. Keval Ananda Kanda, life of, eternal life of bliss is waiting. Just throw the shackles, enter the spiritual world, and eternally, out of all the problems of birth, old age, disease, death, you know, if you do not convince, go. Like yesterday, हम लोग थे जाए hospital के बाद थोड़ा खड़ा हो जाए 5 मिनट के लिए. You don't have to stand for more. Just watch how many people are coming with varieties of suffering. थोड़ा और देखना चले जाओ. Go to the orthopedic ward. सब लोग कोई का पैर ऊपर है, किसी का हाथ ऊपर है, आ चिल्ला रहे होते हैं ना. Correct? So much pain is there in the material existence, but दिखता नहीं है. पश्यदपि न पश्यति, कुछ नहीं दिखता. And you want to suffer the pains again and again, birth, old age, disease, death. We do not. Therefore, let us go back to the spiritual world. And for that, the seriousness should be such that we don't end up in a mess that sadhu has created. Don't do that. The boundaries are much. You break boundaries one after another, one after another, one after another. This is a big boundary, which is very embarrassing. I don't know what kind of understanding, who is controlling him, who is teaching him. Correct? That he crossed so many boundaries. If any, even Mayavadi people don't break such boundaries. They also have very, very strict rules and regulations. Correct? कहाँ से पता नहीं इतना boundaries cross हो गया? अरे person is not, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not even admit you. Imagine the highest standard, not even can look. ये कितना boundary cross किया, just imagine. How many rules and regulations he has broken to end up in such a big mess. It doesn't look like he's under guidance of any kind of spiritualist. So, it should not happen. Spiritual life is no matter of blind faith. And material world में क्या हो रहा है? It's only increasing number of sex enjoyers. शादी करना मतलब वही, बच्चे का शादी कर दिया, एक और सेक्स एंजॉय क्रिएट कर दिया, वो भी मजे में है. अरे तेरे को तो मजा आया ही नहीं. One father was insisting son to get married. बेटा शादी कर लो, शादी. पिताजी आपने शादी किया तो देखा ही है, पूरी जिंदगी के तो आपका युद्ध देखा है घर में. क्या ऐसा चीज़ जो ऐसा इतना खुशी पाया कि बेटे तुम भी आनंद करो, है ना. हमने तो कुछ खुशी देखता है ना, धाड़ निकलो आज से घर में नहीं आना, ये तो हर दिन होता है घर में. वो देख के भी ऐसा बेटा तुम भी कर लो. अरे पापा तुमने तो मजा किया नहीं, कितना कष्ट था मैं देखता है जिंदगी. मेरे को बोलो जा एंजॉय कर. But we don't want to do this cheating business which is going. We are telling us, Kevala Ananda Kanda, come to the spiritual enjoyment. Let us increase the people who can drink the nectar of Krishna consciousness exactly like the people are increasing the number of sexes. See, I can't imagine somebody can be so flat as Prabhupada said. है ना? The metal word means nothing but increasing number of sexes. How he could speak so strongly? Because he has to speak the fact. Guru means he's heavy. He speaks the fact. That is what the world is. छुपाने का जरूरत नहीं है. Just like ये डॉक्टर लोग ओथ लेते हैं ना, इन्हीं का तो पकड़ो इनकी टांग. बड़ी बड़ी ओथ ले लेते हैं. We are going to कहाँ डॉक्टर नहीं है यहाँ. We are going to do this, we are going to do that, we are going to serve the country, है ना. सब लोग ओथ लेते हैं. अभी ये इलेक्शन जीतेंगे फिर बड़ी बड़ी ओथ होती है. We know nobody means it. तो सच बोलो ना, सच क्यों नहीं बोल देते. हाँ, आ गया है पार्टी में, कोशिश करूंगा बड़ा पोस्ट मिले, अच्छे से लूटूंगा जितना हो गया. इलेक्शन में 50 करोड़ खर्च किया था, एटलीस्ट 1000 करोड़ नहीं. सच बोलो ना. सच बोलने वाले लोग नहीं मिलते. सब कलयुगा मीन्स क्वारल एंड हिपोक्रेसी, सब झूठे हैं. सच बोलो ना. तो सिमिलरली Prabhupada is speaking such. This world is nothing but increasing number of sex enjoyers. और कुछ है नहीं दुनिया में. So let us come to the another world where the real enjoyment, we are giving access to people to real enjoyment, and how much real happiness people achieve. And that's what happened. Many people are feeling online में कुछ नहीं होता. इतने तो लोग बन गए ना, है ना. लाइफ चेंज हो गया. जपा कर रहे हैं अभी, है ना. Still many people, only you can receive information. Many presidents are telling this. I yesterday came to know, है ना. Only information. यहाँ तो दीक्षा ले ली, भक्ति शास्त्री हो गया, भक्ति में only information. जिंदगी बदल गया. Only information, जिंदगी कैसे बदल गया, है ना. So just like there's nothing, no limitation. Ahetuki, no limitation can stop the spread of Krishna consciousness. This way, that way, somehow way. Let us participate. And then Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nata tasmad manushesho kashid me priyakritama. There is nobody more dear to me than he who gives the pleasure of Krishna consciousness to other people. Nobody more dear to me. Okay, so we then first save yourself, and then you proceed and give the people idea that they can become so happy in Krishna consciousness. But for that, your character should be clear. Not that you do this candle like the sadhu and go to say, only spiritual like me, people will give you a slap. ऐसे नहीं होगा, ऐसे नहीं होगा. Become pure like Narada. Even a hunter with all anger. And imagine total tamoguna is in. आधा मार के छोड़ रहा था, मतलब total tamoguna is madness. पागल नहीं तो महापागल. क्या उसमें रखा है आधा मान, है ना. He's such a mad person, an intense tamoguna. Just looks at Narada. Oh. You see that? Just by seeing Narad Muni, he got Sukriti. Just by seeing you. I'm just saying that is said in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the symptom of a pure Uttamadhikari is just by seeing him, people develop faith in Krishna. Just by seeing him, people start Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That's what actually happening in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing? People are seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and by seeing him, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Why we cannot do that? Prabhupada used to say, become sincere. We can spread. Just by seeing you, look, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. देख के Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. उल्टा, ये साधु को देखो, इसको देख के तो लोग जप करना बंद कर देंगे, है ना. Somebody chanting, will stop chanting. आप छोड़ो, ये सब बकवास है. ये spiritual life का काम दे. It will happen. Some people who do not know anything about spiritual life, they're doing some puja pata, they'll stop it. क्या फायदा हुआ, इतना साल तपस्या करे, क्या कर रहा है आदमी? People will stop it. But it should be reverse. Just by seeing you, people will start, yes. So let us become sincere, and then the Yogamaya will be profusely emitting out of your whole personality in your body language. People will be so inspired, and then we can do some good work in this world. And then also we know we are discussing, our age is going. We are all, nobody is in, at least no teenagers here, all are in 30s plus, 40 plus, 50 plus. Time has come already. Like now we will discuss this life of Puranjana, death is approaching. And he has been busy with increasing number of sex enjoyments. Suddenly death comes. And he is not ready to face death. So let us not come to an embarrassing situation. Just like, exactly like an exam. Proper understanding is there. Then you can, कुछ लोग रट फुट के बाकी एग्जाम चल जाते हैं, ये एग्जाम रट फुट के नहीं चलेगा. Normal exams in college will happen. थोड़ा रट पुक के ये याद कर लिया, वो याद कर लिया, कुछ डाला इधर डाला, ये फार्मूला चुप का चीटिंग भी करते हैं, कोई फार्मूला लिखे रहते हैं, उसको डाला, आंसर डाला, पास होके भाग गए। ना तो इधर चीटिंग हो पाएगी हैं, ना कुछ क्राइमिंग हेल्प करेगी। इस एग्ज़ाम में आपको रियलाइजेशन चाहिए, बिकॉज एग्ज़ाम टफ है। गुड एग्ज़ाम में बच्चा पकड़ा जाता है ना, वो ही अंडरस्टूड सब्जेक्ट पकड़ा जाता है। सो एट द टाइम ऑफ डेथ व्हाट एंजॉयमेंट वी आर सीकिंग, एक ही प्रश्न रहेगा ये महाराज का, यू वांट सेक्स एंजॉयमेंट और यू वांट एंजॉयमेंट ऑफ सर्विस टू कृष्णा। आई वांट टू सर्व कृष्णा, हो गया पास, कह रहे नहीं तो फिर उसमें आपको इतने कठिन प्रश्न होंगे कि क्वेश्चन यही है, लेकिन सो मेनी वे अरेंज एंड वी से नो, आई थिंक मे बी गए, life is destroyed. Then come back again in this world, either in some species, animals, human species, you get that facility, and again that exam will come. Can you give her? So let us not waste this opportunity, which somehow we have got, so fortunately, and let us take full advantage of this facility and go back to Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, koti koti
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhamma Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji, Hare
Dandat
Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sada Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji, thank you Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Hare Hare,
Dandat Pranam.
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare, Rama
Shri
Hare
Dandat
Rama,
Hare
Pranam,
Hare
Shri
Rama,
Radha
Rama
Govinda
Rama
Ki Jai.
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Radha Govinda
Hare
Ki Jai.
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare 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 Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
Hare Rama Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hari
Rama,
Bol,
Krishna
Hari
Hare
Bol,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare